JavaScript offers what's called the string object. Now, objects in JavaScript, much like real-world objects, they have properties and methods, or I should say, just like in real world, you use objects to do certain things, okay, to perform certain actions. In JavaScript, the objects have, just like in the real world, they have properties, they have characteristics. But similar also to the real world objects, JavaScript objects have what's called actions, or better yet, known as methods. Now, one of these objects in JavaScript is called a global object. It's the string object. And in fact, right here, I have w3schools.com, okay, showing us an example, or dare I say, a list of methods and perhaps properties. Also earlier, while I was talking about objects, I was scrolling down this page, which is from javascript.info/string, and it discusses examples and usages of some of these um, methods. Okay, and in fact, it starts with a few things about uh, typing strings in JavaScript, but this reference actually uses the modernized JavaScript approach, which we will get to uh, uh, later on in the course. Okay, so, but for this one, it already started using certain things about the string object. And now going back here, W3 Schools. So W3 Schools lists um, pretty much the methods or the actions available whenever you have a string inside the variable. Like for instance, if I want to, let's say, put together two or more strings, I can use the concat rather than using the plus sign. Um, will they result to the same thing? In fact, they will. Okay? If I want to locate the first occurrence of a certain word or string within another string, I can use the index of. Okay, there's also search for finding the position of a particular string. So there are several methods that are available to us. In fact, there is a way to find out the particular, the character at a particular position, okay, and so on and so forth. Now, what I'm interested in using here is the to lowercase, okay, because what I want to do is convert, or I should say, change the string into lowercase whenever I get the information. So let me use what we already have established, which is example number 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and select all. I'm going to copy all of that. So Command C or Control C. I'm going to go click File New, create a file, and then paste, or Command V or Control V, the code. And what I'm going to do is save this as example 3. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, save that, Command S, into my demo folder. Call this example 3.html. Okay, so this is actually an example about switch statement, but I also want to add switch statement, I should say string object. Okay, not that that will make our code run better, but yeah, I just want to put the title there. Okay, so the problem with this code, the limitation of this code is this. So I'm going to run this, and I'm going to type, all right, so I'm going to type WP-HTML, click OK, HTML introductory CSS. That's wonderful. Okay, that's all and good. Now, that worked because I typed WP-HTML in lowercase. So I'm going to type WP-HTML in uppercase this time, all caps as a matter of fact. I'm going to click OK, and it says unknown course. That's because, as you know, covered in another session, strings, comparing strings in JavaScript is also case sensitive. Okay, so what I want to do here is, so I want the information that I get from the user. I want that consistently in a particular, let's say, case, if you will. So because my values here in my case statements, okay, or in my case sections or blocks, are in lowercase. So what I want to do probably is I want to always convert whatever the user typed into lowercase. So one of the many ways, or rather, one of the few ways to do that is I can put here course code equals course code dot to lowercase. Okay. In fact, because I'm using brackets, it even gives me like a little sort of help or description, and that is very much appreciated. Okay. So, all right. So what this does is take whatever's in course code, convert it to lowercase, and save it in this variable. Now, a more elegant way of achieving the same thing is rather than converting it there or changing the case there, I can also do it here. Now, switch course code dot to lower case, open close parentheses. Okay, that's part of the method. This is what's called the method. So course code, we know that is a variable. Now, the funny thing about JavaScript is that the variables are also, or can be, depending on what they contain, they can be objects. Okay, so in other words, you're treating this as your object dot action. It's kind of, this is like saying ball dot bounce or car dot accelerate, okay, or person dot run. So what I'm doing here is using the method or the action of this that's available in this object to convert the string, whatever's in this variable, to lowercase. Now I'm not putting that value in the same variable like I did earlier, but I'm just getting the converted result of this and using it as part of my switch statement. So with that added, okay, now don't forget there are two parentheses here and they are contained between these two outer parentheses. Okay, so right, so I'm going to go ahead and save that, and I'm going to use the live preview. Okay, enter course code. So I'm going to go ahead and type WP-HTML. Works beautifully. Click OK. Let me try it this time with all caps WP-HTML. Click OK. HTML and introductory CSS. That is wonderful. So let's try one more time, just for the sake of trying it. GD, and I'm going to mess up the capitalization of this. GDINTDRE. Click OK. Yep, that works beautifully. So it doesn't matter what or how we type the letters, uppercase or lowercase, the code works beautifully because we converted whatever the user entered into lowercase, regardless of how the user typed it. And then finally, the value is used in our programs or in our scripts logic.